Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be watching a video by a love for me on why she thinks someone might quit their natural hair journey. Please go and watch her full video as well. It is very insightful.
On this YouTube space, and I think for a lot of people when they go natural, there's this desire to see what their hair is gonna do, what it can do. And when YouTube started and when the natural hair movement joined YouTube, people were sharing their journey, right? It wasn't about people being gurus or experts. It was about people saying, this is what I do. This is what I've tried. It used to be about their journey, not being right or wrong or an expert or this camp or that camp. That was the heyday of the community, and we really were very communal at that time.
When I started this channel, I wanted people with my texture to find a channel that made natural hair easy and simple to handle. The first time I went natural, I had watched a lot of videos that were in the natural hair community and came across so many rules that I had to follow, and that made it a bit exhausting for me to keep up with. Although I was able to maintain my hair, I wouldn't say it was easier than it is now, mainly because the way a lot of people spoke in the community about hair care, they made it seem like if you do not do exactly what they did, your hair will not reach its full potential in terms of length or health. And so I thought I had to only use certain products for my hair to flourish, and I had to redo my hair weekly. And then you find another group that tells you to not do that, do their thing instead. And so I ended up trying all these different things, and that did not help my hair or my patience at all. And so the second time I went natural, I took everything I came across as a suggestion, not as something that I have to do. And that has allowed me to keep things simple, and it has also allowed me to be able to keep up with taking care of my natural hair and has made it more enjoyable for me. And that is the purpose of this channel, is to show you that it really can be that simple to retain length. When I watch older YouTube videos from naturals like years ago, like 10 years ago and longer, they really did speak from a place of maybe you can try this, and not like what we see now, which is only my way works. And that is what I want you guys to learn from my channel. I do not know everything about hair. I don't know my porosity and the hair typing thing as well. I say I have 4C hair because majority of my head is coily, but the back of my hair I would say is 4B. So a lot of people are like that. They have a part of their hair that's this texture, and the other part is that curl type and all of that. So we all know by now that the hair typing system also isn't something that is reliable. The products I use are mostly because they are the only ones I can afford right now, and the routine I have is because I am a lazy natural and do not want to be constantly touching my hair. I say this to show you that I have little knowledge on hair, but I am still able to retain length and have healthy hair with the little knowledge that I have and the few products that I have and the minimalistic routine that I follow. And I think this is definitely, a reason why people can quit being natural, because content creators are not providing options. They're only giving them one, and that is their own. And this is why I will share my routine, but also share other content creators who have natural hair similar to ours, so that you can maybe pick up some tips from them. And in some of my other videos, I will ask, my subscribers to share their hair routines in the comment section, because I want people to not only see my routine, but also be able to have options of like, okay, maybe I don't want to follow her routine. And so they can go through the comment section and maybe find one that they can fit into their lifestyle. So let's go through a few comments from the video I am reacting to. This comment says that natural hair became easier for her when she stopped using too many products and learned the right techniques, which is something I always preach on my channel. For some of us, the simpler the routine, the better. She also says that she has styles that she rotates and make her feel beautiful. And I think that is something that is really important, is to figure out which styles are the best for you, maybe in terms of feeling pretty, as she says, or a style that will help keep your hands out of your head. And you do not have to constantly wonder what you will do next with your hair. For me, mini braids and mini twists I do those when I want a long-term style to keep my hands out of my hair, and the Afro puff makes me feel the prettiest. Another comment says that wash days are pampering sessions and she loves DIYs and listens to what her hair likes and doesn't like. I also think of wash days as self-care days. I look forward to those. I also want to add that if you like doing DIYs, do them. Some people do not like them and think they are useless, but if they make you enjoy experimenting with your hair and trying out different things as a way to get to know your hair more, I say go for it. I did a DIY about 2 weeks ago when I washed my hair and decided to condition. I added honey because we have a lot of raw honey at home and no one's eating it, and so I wanted to use it. I don't like the taste though, so I did some research from Healthline and watched a few videos on YouTube, and some people added honey to their conditioner with tea tree oil, and so I tried it and I liked it. My hair felt even softer than when I used the conditioner on its own, and it smelled even nicer. Will I try it again? Probably. Why? Because I want to and I like it. I said the benefits that I've experienced with the DIYs. So if you want to try DIYs, go ahead and try them. This one says no more to wash and goes because of single strand knots, tangling and matting, and she doesn't like having to constantly style her hair because the wash and goes do not last. Now she prefers to blow dry her hair to keep it stretched and do low manipulation styles like having just 2 braids or cornrows. I love this. She tried a style, saw that it was definitely not doing her any favors, and found ones that worked out great for her, which is something a lot of people have to learn. Stop trying to force styles that do not work for you and find ones that do. This commenter says, it does not matter what you do with your hair, it will still require maintenance, and self-love plays a huge role. I agree with that, and they also say that they lock their hair, which is another great option if you don't want to style an afro or do protective styles. Locking your hair is also a very great option. Now let's read the last 2 comments. This one says that the issue for some is that they are trying to style their hair according to what someone with a different texture styles their hair. She also says that styling her hair in a way that allowed her natural curl pattern to remain has been the best option for her. People need to be realistic and find styles that complement your own curl pattern, and your style will last, and healthy hair is the best hair. 110% agreeing with her. And the last comment says, I find that wearing our hair in old-fashioned styles is healthier. I agree. I think old-fashioned hairstyles is healthier, so maybe cornrows, mini braids, in my opinion. I think that's what she means. Hairstyles that allow a natural curl pattern to shine. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section, whether you agree or disagree with any of the points that have been said by these people commenting in the video. I also think it boils down to like the type of hairstyle. I think the type of hairstyle, what matters is it too tight? Are you taking care of your hair? Because there's some people who do cornrows, but they don't take care of it, like they don't maintain their hair. So at the end of the day, I think it depends on whether you're still taking care of your hair and also how tight is that style.
Another really huge one is people not being able to retain length. Like they want long hair and they can't get there because they can't retain moisture, or because their hair breaks when detangling, or any number of reasons. Or they tried the no oils, no butters method and it left their hair ate up. I'm gonna keep saying that if you're new here. I did a video on that method a while ago, and it was like during the pandemic about that, and it just has so much relevance now that I don't mind being petty. I'm sorry, y'all listen to people and denied your own common sense, or you just listen to people with impunity and nothing. As I said, no one who speaks in absolutes has your best interest in mind. And so people just had such a hard time retaining length, and I think a lot of times people miss one of the most important things with retaining length, especially if you have thin hair, and that is internal health. If you just have thinning hair, if it just continues to thin, you need to go see a doctor, because a lot of the times it has to do with something with the B vitamins in your body, right? Iron or anything along those lines. Like The hair is the last thing to come out of the head. And so it's a reflection of the health of your body. And it has nothing to do with whether you are an ideal look or an ideal weight, right? Like you could be skinny as all get out and have high cholesterol, right? Or you could be overweight and have none of the problems, overweight by societal standards, right? And so I have a severe iron deficiency. Until I started taking the right amount of iron, which is the prescription amount, my hair did not flourish. And I got receipts, okay? My hair flourished in 6 months' time just from getting the right amount of iron.
This is so true. I think we tend to focus so much on the external and forget that what happens inside of your body matters too. It is similar to skincare. Some people have acne and it can worsen because of their diet or not drinking enough water, and no amount of skincare products will fix that. You hear someone say they started drinking more water and started eating more veggies and their skin started to clear up. And so for some of you, that may be the case with your hair. If you feel as though you have tried everything and have genuinely put in effort into proper hair care techniques and still nothing, maybe you might need to go visit a doctor who can help you figure out what the issue is.
However, a lot of times, like not being able to retain length is just directly linked to doing the most. When hair care is really not that complicated. The basics of hair care is not complicated. I think styling for us can be more complicated, and that's where we get to the 4C naturals. Now, I'm a type kinky natural, so I have no problem saying these things. I'm of the Afro tribe, where it's so easy for me to get an Afro. It's the natural state of my hair. If a wash and go for me is a glorious Afro, and I wear it sometimes and I just adore it. I do. But if you are looking at the wrong representation, so when you do your hair and it doesn't come out the way you thought it would because you got those products, you're going to quit your natural hair. Or you're forcing your hair into certain styles, or forcing your wash and go to do a certain thing so that you can get 14 days out of your wash and go even though it's dry and dusty because it has just that look you're going for that's not your natural shrunken texture. Yeah, that's going to like add to your wash routine. You're going to get annoyed over time. You're going to quit it. And like, that's no judgment. I personally think you could do whatever you want. I'm not one of those natural hair purists where you will find that out in a moment, more about that in a moment. But yeah, you're going to quit your natural hair because you're going to get sick of doing it. You're going to get sick of trying to swoop your baby hairs and then going outside and they don't look like baby hairs no more because your texture is kinky. It's beady beads. Okay. They don't do that. They just don't do that in a healthy way. I mean, you could definitely get it to happen, but you can also cause a alopecia. Like, there's just so many things you can cause by trying to force your hair to do things that it ain't gonna do. And then you have the 4Cs that are trying to get something that is not a naturally attainable aesthetic, right? The ones who don't have shiny, defined hair that are trying to get it, right? If you are always seeking that, you're never going to be happy. So you're gonna quit your hair.
I have no complaints with what she says here. You definitely can do whatever you want with your hair, but just know that if you try to manipulate it into something it does not naturally do, the health of your hair will be compromised. And it is very important that as women with coily hair, we must follow people who have a similar texture to ours. Obviously, you will not know the exact curl pattern they have, but just based off of how their hair looks, you should get an idea that this person probably shares the same texture as I do. And this is important because you will then learn how to handle your own hair, whether that means finding the right products, the routine, or styling. The more people you follow who look like you, the easier things will be for you. So stop trying to run away from your texture by watching videos of women with looser textures and thinking that if you try hard enough, you might eventually get that same hairstyle and get it to look exactly like hers. It won't.
A big one, like a huge one, is trying a ton of products and they don't work. And a lot of the times they don't work because of curl envy, right? Like people thinking that if they buy this product, and it's just because the company says this, right? They think if they buy this product then their texture will look like this, and that's just not the case. Like stylists have been blaming influencers for the whole like pushing products, but that's been brands push product, brands do this. That's called capitalism. It's their goal, and they infiltrated the natural hair community and highlighted looser textures. Like that was their marketing strategy. And then the viewers went with it. So that's a brand and viewer problem, not an influencer issue. Or like buying shampoos and conditioners and expecting them to make your hair suddenly feel silky when it is coarse, or buying products and expecting it to repair heat damage or something when nothing can do that, or getting really mad that you buy these expensive products and they don't work, and like these salon quality products are supposed to work for you, not realizing that like everybody has different textures, not everything is going to work for everybody. The price of the product does not determine whether it's going to work on your hair.
This goes hand in hand with the previous point made that the more people you follow who look like you, the easier things will become, because there are people with coily hair who share reviews on products and whether or not they will work for our hair. I will say I have watched some reviews, and some people will come onto that person's comment section and say it didn't work because of the creator didn't use enough of the product, or use too much of the product, or didn't use a particular comb, or whatever they can think of. They will blame the content creator and cannot accept that the product just didn't work for coily hair. End of story. It is true that not all products are for everybody. Even certain natural hair products are not for everybody. Why are people trying to fight this? As she says, it's curl envy.
Then we get tired and then we quit. But it's like, does that mean you hate your natural hair? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think you're just over that. The season has changed for you. And I think that's okay. I think this happened for a lot of naturals, which is why the natural hair community ain't popping no more. And people just want to place blame instead of accepting that it's a journey, right? Like people usually do this whole self-growth journey with their hair. And then they get to a point where they're just like, either they really care or they don't. Because one thing remains true. There are people who enjoy doing their hair. There are people who are just really into the process of beauty and beautification. And there are people who aren't, who just want their hair to look presentable and done as a means to an end. And that, to me, is okay.
I also agree that not everyone who wears wigs or braids more than their natural hair hates their hair, and there are women who take care of their natural hair underneath it. They love doing all sorts of hairstyles that are not possible to do with natural hair. And I say not possible meaning not possible to do without causing some sort of damage to your hair over time. And so the best way to get the hairstyle is by getting a wig and styling the wig instead. I would say I would love to see more black women styling wigs that match their natural hair as well. And I am starting to see that a bit more on social media, and it shows that it is possible to be presentable and elegant and stylish with textured hair. Being presentable is not only possible with straight wigs, we need to get that out of our heads. I would love to hear your thoughts about the video in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please let me know by leaving a like or even subscribing to the channel.